Welcome back to the 52 Weeks to Wealth. My name is Gualter Amarelo, the real estate mentor. Wealth Principle 28. Learn to love handling large amounts of money and the people who have it. Number one is you could find a job for their child. Hence, if you know a rich person who has a child. Anybody? Yes. So their children are a big part of their lives. Number two, you could give to their charity. Anybody know a rich person with a charity? Is that like weird that they all have a charity? Every single one of them? Awesome. Excellent. Number two is you could give to their charity. It's a way to get in the game, have a conversation. Number three, do prospect research for their charity. Perhaps do some marketing, perhaps make some connections. You don't have to, if you don't have the money to donate, you could perhaps bring somebody in to donate or throw an event that would allow people to donate to their charity. Notice we were talking about the rich here. So if you believe the rich are greedy, evil people, this won't work for you. You're going to have to understand that they actually care and they have charities. Fourth one is raise money for their charity so you can actually go out and raise. You could do races, you could do events, lots of different ways to raise. You could do 100 push-ups a day for 30 days and raise money for a charity. Number five, this one is one of my favorites. Find good deals. You know what the rich want? Things they can put their money in. That's all they're ever looking for. When you have too much of this, you want to put it into stuff that gives you more time, because that's what they're always looking for. The rich, if you ask them what is their most valuable asset, they'll say time. Every single time. Every single person I've ever interviewed on Alchemist Nation on the podcast says time is the most valuable currency I have. It's the most valuable thing in my life. Hence, Cam, if you've heard that before, you know that to be true in your own personal life. Excellent. So find them good deals that give them a great return on investment that are secure. Number six, provide them information that they may be seeking. Provide them with information they may be hunting for. That is one of my favorite strategies. In fact, there are many wealthy people on this call right now and in this series that I'm just providing them with information that they already know. And in most cases, they got rich because they know this stuff, but then it's a reminder. It's right back into, oh yeah, that's how I got here. Let me get back to my basics. Let me get back to what works. And if you've noticed that also, it's refocused you. It's gotten you back into what you're doing. That's providing knowledge. It's providing information, providing books. The rich trade books. One of the most interesting things I've discovered over the last few years, all my rich friends love reading books. And you know what they read? Books about mindset, books around success. Sometimes they'll read a book around something that they're looking to get into, an industry they've never been in before. Sometimes, like real estate investors, if you are walking and talking with a rich person who is outside of real estate, you're suddenly a wealth of knowledge to them. Hence the care if you know that they don't know anything about real estate in many cases. They're looking to learn how to do it, and then they're looking for somebody to bring the deal and then probably manage the deal. The rich don't want to do the work. We're the richest of the rich. And we're talking about the ultra rich today. The regular, if you've made $1 million, sometimes I know a lot of millionaires who still love the grind, still love the hustle, still out there doing the things. But I'm talking about the ultra rich. They don't want to do the work themselves. So they're looking for somebody who can be an operator and a deal finder. Hence, Cam, if you got some of those skills, you think you could swing that? Anybody on the call? Yes, I know a few of you personally definitely can. Number seven, write a letter to an editor. So there's a story of Tom Stanley, the author of The Millionaire Next Door, came up with this one decades ago, and he wrote a letter to the local newspaper and in support of an issue that's important to them. Then he mailed a copy of the letter to his acquaintance, letting them know the issue is important enough for them to write a letter around supporting the idea. So think about something that a wealthy person in your mind, you must know them first, wants to make a movement or be a part of something. You can go and take the initiative, something maybe they've said in a conversation, and then go and take that initiative and start taking action on making that change happen. Because a lot of social change just has to do with conversations or the media. Hence, if you can make a Facebook post. You could make it very simple. It doesn't have to be crazy. Yes, this one's a little outside of most people's comfort range. For me, it's a lot easier. This is one that I did back in Fall River with my mentor at the time. He was looking to make some political changes. I was like, well, I can, go out and learn some politics, connect with some people, and maybe suggest that we eliminate trash barrel fees. Anybody know that you don't like paying trash barrel fees in your city? So it's annoying. So he said, yeah, it's frustrating. I was like, well, I'm going to go do something about it. I didn't change anything. I just took some action. And he thought that was really cool. That's the goal. You're looking to build relationships. 8, get their spouse to like you, right? One of the other avenues that I found extremely effective, Rod Cleef. Rod Cleef is a perfect example of this. So Rod is a super busy guy. His wife, Tiffany, is super busy also, but Dorina is really good at connecting with super busy people. So Dorina will text his wife like every week about something that his wife is interested in. So when it comes time to get Rod on a podcast, he always makes time for us. It also helps that he's got a big heart and he's always looking to help people, and that this is in line with his mission, which brings me to another side note to this. Get a podcast. Very successful people are interested in being on a podcast and sharing their knowledge, sharing their wealth of knowledge, sharing their experience. And in some cases, they've written books now and they're promoting their books. Hence, Karen, if you're catching some of these things, they're scary, right? Not everybody's going to take action on all of them, but these 10 are designed to help you think outside the box of a little thing that you could do. Number 9, you could send thank you notes. I know it sounds small, but this one time, this was part of my agency business when I was a real estate agent. I used to send out a thank you letter to every person I ever did business with, whether they were a client, whether they were a contractor, whether they're another real estate agent. Many of those real estate agents were multimillionaires. Many of my contractors were multimillionaires. I very specifically remember this one time I got a phone call from one of the contractors. He was an electrician, one of the richest guys in the city, owned millions and millions of commercial property in Fall River. And he calls me up and he said, people don't do business like this anymore. Like that letter you wrote, he said, it's been years since anybody's written me a letter about, thanking me for my business, thanking me for my service, and thanking me for the opportunity to pay. That he said, man, you're going to go far in this business, and anything you ever need, you just let me know, because I wrote a letter. Hands to camera if it's been a long time since you've written a letter to somebody you've done business with. Hands to camera if you've never done it, ever. I'm talking written letter, mailed with an old-fashioned stamp with an address. You have to know their address. And the idea is that, like, this is one of the rules that I had with Ron back in the day, was anytime we sent an invoice out, every so often I would take those invoices and I'd write a little letter that went with the invoice. We were paying our vendors. I just wanted to say, hey, thank you for the opportunity to work with you. Thank you for the service that you provide for us. Little stuff goes a long way. And please, these sound small, these sound simple. This wealth principle is a wealth principle that can change your life like that. All it takes is one partnership. All it takes is one relationship. All it takes is one partnership or relationship or an idea or a connection from somebody who is ultra, ultra rich. We're getting this. If you aim high enough, half of a project that is completely funded or financed by somebody else, as long as you're willing to run the project and do the work, that could be the game changer. Who's ever said having money is the issue? Like, not enough money to do the deals. Has anybody ever said that? Yeah, everybody on this call has said that at some point. The money was the challenge. They didn't have enough money to go and do the deal. If you're looking at taking down a 1,000-unit building or a 1,000-unit complex or a portfolio, you're looking at something that's anywhere between $20 to $40 million, $50 million to do these deals on the cheap. But these could be $100 million deals easily. And that comes from other people's money. What if it came from one person? What if it came from one person who did the raise for you? Vinny Chopra has a story, and he'll be at the summit. He has a story about this first guy he borrowed money from. I think it was under $250,000. The first amount of money that he borrowed from this guy was like $150,000. He's now got $5 million from this investor rolling into his deals at any point. But beyond that, he said this investor brought in 28 investors over the last 14 years. And those 28 investors are some of his biggest investors in his deals. It's about relationships. It really is about spending time with ultra wealthy people and finding out what they want. That's a very powerful lesson. Yes. Number 10, complement their generosity. Often nonprofit fundraising seems like this. Oh, you have money? We need money. You should give us money, right? In fact, sometimes even doing deals with real estate investors sounds like that. Hands Karen, if you've ever had somebody try to approach you and see if you invest in one of their deals, they're like, hey, we got a deal, send me money. Yeah, very impersonal, not cool. But as a third party member who is a member of an organization, you could thank them for their generosity. You could encourage them and say, wow, you did a great job looking at that deal and investing in that deal. Or it's very cool that you went and donated to that charity. I'm inspired by what you did. I'm now saving or starting to work towards that. Maybe what advice do you have to get as wealthy as you have so that I can also do the things that you're doing, the charities that you're doing? That's 10 ways. Hands if one of those stuck out to you. One of those felt like I could do that one. Awesome. Excellent. Hands if 9 of those did not. You're like, no way am I doing a podcast. That is insane. I'm not doing it, right? No, seriously, hands if the podcast scared you. I noticed nobody put the hands up on the podcast. All right, give yourselves a round of applause for getting through it. Take the one that works. Just one can change your life. Just one new way of building relationships with the ultra rich can be the way that you start learning, getting your high level income mentors, getting access to capital. If you learn what kind of deals they're looking for, all you have to do is do the deals that they're looking for. In fact, Ron and I called 2 of the richest guys we know last week. We just called them just to ask, hey, what are you investing in right now? Do you know what we got for an answer? The truth. We got what they're investing in. Now we know exactly where they want to be. And who would like to know what that is? Who would like to know what these guys were like? Multi-millionaires, like super, super rich, super cool, super rich. Hands if you want to know what they're investing in. Real estate. I talked about stocks. I talked about crypto. I talked about, random business, like internet business ideas. I talked about a medical business idea, and I talked about business in general. And they're like, look, if it's a real estate deal, I'll do it. The numbers work. The deal looks good. I'll invest in real estate. The other one was strategic business that owns real estate, businesses that own assets, businesses that have something that recourse could be taken on. But even that one, the only one of the gentlemen was interested in businesses. Majority were saying, hey, I'm investing in real estate right now, and like big deals, not little deals. But they've invested $1 million. One of them invested 100,000 with us a while back, and we still have some of that money with us. We're still rolling some of that investment money. So these are people we've already built relationships with. Didn't call for more money, but just called to say, what are you investing in? What is your target property? What is your target kind of investment? Maybe that's a target you should do this week. Maybe that's something you can write down. Go and reach out to the richest person you know and ask them, what are you investing in right now? What do you want more of? What kind of deals do you invest in? What kind of deals get you the most? What is your buy box or investment criteria? I've been calling and speaking to a lot of our investors this week, people who invest in our products and invest in our investments and our projects. And I've been asking them, what are you investing in? Where are you investing? What kind of return on investment are you looking for? Just to get a feel for what the investment market looks like right now. And pitching, okay, like what about this? What about this? What about that? If I did a syndication, what about an internal rate of return of 20%, 25%? Is that okay with you? If I did something that was only 8% interest, would you be interested? And I was getting my answers. Research can only be done if you have that client in your database. That's what the recession-proof challenge has been. These last 13 days that we've been going through it has been all about connecting with 100 people. Some of you are smart enough to say, I'm just going to connect with 100 millionaires or 100 multimillionaires. And some have said, I don't know how to connect with all those people. And we're working through a process. And the recession-proof challenge is designed to get you around whoever you want to be around. If you've aimed too low, there's nobody to blame but yourself. And if you've aimed high, then the success you get, there's nobody to blame but yourself. Ask if that makes sense. You're the common denominator in whatever result you get. Absolutely. So this is a powerful principle. And we have a really cool book that was written by a multi-billionaire that is our book of the week. And I know Mike Shine is not on here because he's flying all across the country. And I see Terry has read this book before. Let's give Dr. Terry Wager a round of applause. Terry, what is the book of the week?
Sam Zell is a billionaire, and he's involved in energy. He's involved in real estate. He's involved in pretty much anything you can be involved in that has money involved. And see how involved I am in using involved. The book is amazing. It's autobiography of how he got started, what he learned from his dad, and basically his journey throughout the years since 1968 or something like that when he did his first deal. And three things that I got out of it was you got to put skin in the game. You got to put in order to be able to do anything. Whether it's your time, sweat equity, that's one of the first things that he did is he put his time in. And then you got to really jump in and take a contrarian view of what you're doing. A lot of people live business by hope. And I hope this works, hope this works, hope this works. And you got to take a contrarian view when you're doing deals. You got to look at how it might not work in order to be able to strategize the best deal possible. That doesn't mean hesitate, which a lot of people mix up looking at the downside of a deal as hesitating. You still got to go for it. You just got to make the deal work for you if you're going to move forward. And then you still want to make it good for them too, because that's how deals work. Everybody gets something out of it. And the third thing, and I think one of the most important, is really focusing on your reputation. You want to make sure that your name attached to anything you do makes people excited to talk to you, excited to do business with you, maybe even have a little bit of biblical fear, which is awe and trepidation, to make sure that they know that when you walk in the room, you're serious. One of the biggest things that I've seen with people is they don't come to the table serious. They take themselves too seriously, but they don't take the deal serious enough. And so reputation is all about taking the deal serious, taking the other person across the table from you serious, and being present with them. And that's all about reputation. So 3 things: put skin in the game. Invest in yourself and invest in your deals, and don't be afraid to put more in. Take a contrarian view and pay attention to the downside of things so you're not caught off guard. And then 3, make sure you got a good reputation. Don't have a reputation of just going for anything, and don't have a reputation of hesitation. Because if you have a reputation of hesitation, nobody wants to do a deal with you. That's what I got out of that book. I would read it. You'll probably get something different.
Let's give Dr. Terry Wager a big round of applause for handling the book of the week this week. And one more thing, there's a story in the book that I really liked. It was called The Grave Dancer. He got this nickname for being a grave dancer for when a company was going under, he would go and acquire that company. So he would be keeping an eye on companies that weren't doing so well, and he would be doing these acquisitions with his fund, and then he would turn those companies around. He had a strategy for turning them around, and he just would plug them in. He'd see them running an old way, and they'd throw new technology into the business that he'd proven over and over works. So he'd just do these acquisitions as the grave dancer. And it was just very funny because he got a bad reputation. Many real estate investors can connect with this. Got a bad reputation. Oh, you take advantage of people who are in bad situations. I just show up when they need me. When somebody is, desperate to sell their house and they're willing to sell at a discount, that does happen to be when I show up. When people are looking to get top dollar, guess what? There's 1,000, a million other people out there who are looking to pay top dollar. I'm just the guy who comes in and fixes the problem. When it's a mess, I pay less, and then I fix it, and then I get more. Hence the camera, if it's okay to solve people's problems when they're in really, really desperate spots. If you think, yes, and for anybody who's listening who doesn't think it's okay, talk to your doctor, right? You only go to them when you're in a really bad spot, and you pay them more than you pay anybody else. Look at your insurance that you're paying out. There's a lot of money in desperation. There's a lot of money when people are on the line. I've talked to people whose entire life has been turned upside down because of medical bills, $1.7 million medical bills, or $600,000 medical bills. So if you don't think that helping people in desperate spots is a good thing, then I guess you don't need to ever go to the doctor again, right? COVID just happened the last 2 years. Who got COVID at some point, right? Who knows people died with COVID? It was a very serious disease, very serious illness, cold, a virus, and it took out a lot of people. Thank God for the doctors that were there on the front lines, handling a desperate situation with desperate people. It's the same exact thing with the financial world. When people are in a desperate spot, that's when they need us to solve their problem. There's nobody else who can do it. The person who's looking for that fixed house, the pretty house, who needs 60 days to close because they're a real estate just newbie, they're just new to the game, and they don't have, and the pre-approvals fall apart and all these different things. They need somebody who can close in cash. That's where you solve that problem. The 52 weeks to wealth are designed to help you get rich. They're designed to help you double your income. They're designed to help you double your net worth. Hence, if you are still committed to becoming one of those millionaires, we're on a mission to build 100 millionaires, inspired to build 100 millionaires. The recession-proof challenge is going on right now. You can register today at challenge.alchemistnation.com. If you aren't already in it, you should be. I guarantee you. And if you are in it and you're like, oh my God, there's a lot of things going on, you're welcome. It's called a challenge for a reason. If I made it easy, nobody would talk about it. But because it's intense, and because there are a few people who are literally able to keep up with every single lesson every single day. By the way, the secret to this is non-perfectionism. For you perfectionists, I'm sorry, you're behind. But for the non-perfectionist, you're doing wonderful. For the person who says, good and done today is better than perfect a year from now, or a month from now, or 2 months from now, is going to beat you, because you can always go back and tighten up. You can always go back and improve. But if these are things you've never done before, don't expect to be the expert. Don't expect to be perfect. Perfection is deadly. They say the devil's in the details. No kidding. It truly is. Now, one of the requirements to be extremely successful is perfection. You must be a perfectionist in order to be extremely successful. When you get to a level that things have gotten so competitive, you do have to get a little better than everybody else. But when you're just getting started, good and done will always beat perfection until you've proven a stream of income, until you've proven that this thing works, until you've proven that you're good at it. And over time, you'll get better. I love you guys. Man, what a great journey we've been on. We're over halfway through. Wealth Principle 26 was halfway through. We're now into the really powerful wealth principles. They stack on everything that you've done over the last few weeks. They stack on everything you've done over the last 6 months. These next principles, we lead closer into the summit. By the way, the summit is right at that point where you're 3/4 of the way through the wealth principles. The year ends in February for us. It doesn't end in December because two people were too busy in December for me to end the year there. It ends in February. So as we're continuing through, as we lead towards the summit, be thinking about, who are you going to present yourself as when you're in a room with over 200 millionaires, when you're in a room with thousands of future millionaires. By the way, some of those future millionaires may become your partners. Some of them may be the people that connect you with somebody else. It's going to be a very, very important 3 days. And for our VIPs, well, an important 4 days, because you get the extra day with me on Thursday to talk about scaling your business, talk about getting to the next level with your teams and culture. And there's something very interesting that will help prepare you to get there. And that is a recession-proof challenge. If you're feeling like you might be a little behind on your goals, If you're feeling like a little stuck, then register for the challenge. If you're feeling like, man, I know it's overwhelming, there's too much to do in there, good. Learn the steps. You don't have to take perfect action. Just take good action. Just do one little thing 20, 30 minutes a day, and it will get you to the next level. Alan Knowles dropped in the chat. He said, the 30-day challenge could also actively be called the 30-day motivational or inspirational tool. Let's give Alan a big round of applause. He's crushing it in the challenge right now. I love it. So click the link. It is challenge.alchemiststation.com. Let's give everybody in the challenge who's already jumped in a big round of applause for crushing it, for taking themselves seriously, for building their 100 relationships. And for some of you, making your connections with your first 100 millionaires who could potentially become millionaires, who build millionaires. Give everybody a big round of applause one more time. I love you guys. This has been a powerful lesson. We're going to open it up to questions and answers. Take action. In fact, do a video today. I know many people are afraid of Facebook Lives. Who's done one before? Hands up if you've done a Facebook Live before. You know you're a badass. All right, all right. Look at this. It's our whole community. All the people in the mentorship program have done it. So I want you to go and I want you to do a Facebook Live today. I want you to gear it towards somebody who's wealthy. Now, don't say their name unless you got a connection with them already, or you're looking to do that admiration thing, which is very clever, and you could say their name, but make sure that you're saying something that might attract or draw in somebody of high net worth. These things, like I mentioned earlier, could be there's a charity that they're doing or interested in that you're also looking to serve or help. It could be that you've got a deal that they might be interested in. It could be that you're in a position to provide some information around the marketplace right now that they may be interested in investing in. But make a post about your appreciation for the wealthy. Make a post about how I hang out with all these millionaires every weekend, and I just love how abundant they are. I love how they're sharing their knowledge. I love how they're showing love to each other. And it made me think of this other millionaire who's a friend of mine. They've always done this. Hands to camera if we can do a quick little video like this. Yeah, very easy. And obviously for bonus points, you tag somebody rich, right? The bonus points are only for the brave. They're only for the courageous.